Gotta use my man strength there. Grab my man. Alright guys, so after a hard loss at Pans today, I've decided to quit the gi. And now I'm only training no gis. So we're here today at Mudita Jiu-Jitsu. Let's go inside, see what we can do, and have a good time.
Mudita Jiu-Jitsu, home to some of the best youth grapplers I've faced so far in my career. This is their professor Brandon. However, we'll get to him later in the video. For now, our first challenge is a 14-year-old kid named Randy. Don't let his age fool you. This kid is a menace and you'll see why in a few seconds. So off the bat, I'll go for a low single, but after it doesn't work, I'll sit to guard. I'm then met with Randy's bloodlust as he storms around my guard. However, he falls into my trap when he fails to fully pin my leg to the ground, allowing me to enter into a kiss of the dragon. After just missing his back, we retreat back to standing. I catch him with his head lower than mine, so I jab on a front headlock and break him down. I'll come up on a single leg, and Randy jumps into close guard. My only goal from here is to free myself from his guard. I jump up to both feet, and he goes for a dummy sweep. To prevent this, I kick forward and out to free my foot and regain my balance. Now it's time to work on some problem solving from yesterday. I dive in for a knee slice and land in the same position I had lost to in my second round of the Pan Ams. The key detail that I had wanted to review today was controlling the near side elbow. By putting a wedge between his elbow and his ribs, I should negate his ability to frame my knee away. Now in side control, I don't respect his underhook and I'm met with a powerful bridge and Randy moves himself on top. Not wanting to concede bottom so easily, I wrestle up on a single leg but find myself in a battle of the wizard kicks. Eventually, Randy catches me off guard with a beautiful takedown that would make every grappler's heart full. As I try to roll out of side control, the spider monkey leaps on my back and starts to attack my arm. However, I'm making it incredibly difficult for him to finish the armbar by keeping his knees separated. Therefore, the pressure is relieved and I'm able to free myself from what seemed like the end. We both come up, but I'm no longer feeling interested in wrestling after what happened last time, so I go for a quick front trip, and as he's off balance, I catch him with a foot sweep to take him down. Now, without wasting any time, I jump out on my professor's signature pass. You can find the details here in this video, but essentially, I'm grabbing the head and pulling it to my hip. That prevents him to shrimp and also allows me to dive in chest to chest even faster. I'll then start to work a north-south choke, but after a long minute and nothing, I whip his head up and spring onto his back. He reverses the attack, and I'm nearly caught in a triangle. I escape death yet again, and after a few more exchanges, time runs out.
Bro, 14? That's crazy.
That was a good match.
That was a really good match. Really back and forth. It's exactly how I want to train.
You moved.
Exactly what I needed. I moved, you know?
Next up, we have a 17-year-old named Adam. With one hell of a flexible guard, let's see what it takes to break through that barrier. Adam starts off the roll by pulling guard. Notice as I engage, my knees are pinched to make it difficult for him to invert. I'll back up and dive in for Gabriel's style pass, similarly to the round against Randy. However, Adam manages to barricade himself with his foot, forcing me to take on a different approach if I want to complete this pass. This is what I came up with. I'll initially use my chest to pressure down on his shin and force his foot to the outside of the inside position. Adam then snakes his arm to the inside, which would make it incredibly difficult to settle here due to the underhook, as seen in the roll with Randy. I keep my weight focused on him and swing around to his left to establish side control, and then from here I'll begin to isolate his far arm. I use my elbow and hip to pinch his head and keep the pressure on him as I move my far arm across his hip to go into north-south. It's essential that his arm stays on the right side of my head, otherwise with just a quick bridge, he could escape. With the puzzle pieces to control him now set, I just need to focus on the choke. I wrap my arm under his head and use my ribs to keep him facing away from me. I'll then extract my left arm so I have two arms above his head and finally drive my ribs against his temple to get the tap. While I may have been abusing the power of the north-south choke so far, stick around to see me get a taste of my own medicine. However, right before we make it to the final boss, I do want to showcase some of the other cool things that I picked up from the other rolls. In my roll with Gabriel, I learned that when I shoot this outside pass, I need to make sure I don't shift too far across the center line, otherwise it could potentially put me in a triangle or armbar. And of course, that would not be ideal. Now with Dylan, well, after I got Eminari rolled and ankle locked, I managed to hit a pretty sweet arm drag reversal, something that I've never done before, and I'm not sure when a move like this will come up again. Okay, so after facing a few of his students, I knew Brandon was going to be an absolute unit of a professor. I start by throwing Gabriel's pass out once more, looking to see what kind of reaction I can get from him. What I've noticed is higher level people tend to use my momentum and come out on the other side. Definitely something I'm going to take note of going forward. I dive in for a knee slice, but I get caught with my hips too high, so Brandon easily shoves me over. As he jumps up on top, I look for a kiss of the dragon to his back, but he escapes due to my lack of connection to his hips. Notice how my left leg comes up and jabs into him like a scorpion tail. I want to place my foot right below his collarbone so I can use it as a frame while I hand fight. Brandon then breaks my hooks off, and with control of both my ankles, I need to abandon ship and gain back control over at least one of my legs, or else it could lead to an easy pass, as you'll see coming up. As he goes for this next pass, notice how my right leg plants on the ground to keep Brandon aligned with my center line. My left hand monitors his left shoulder, and my left knee monitors his right shoulder, preventing him from easily dropping down to close the distance. As I roll back into him, he gets control of both my ankles and things almost take a turn for the worst. I keep my frames on his hips and he gets super close to the pass. I invert and reweave my leg to square back up. However, he chains this and nearly secures side control, but luckily I frame against his chest, pop up to my elbow, and shrimp out of danger. It definitely does not get easier from here. Brandon attacks a double unders pass, and he catches me upside down and starts to crunch me into a front headlock. To avoid this, I wrap up on a single leg and use that threat of an attack to cause him to defend and let go of the headlock. I jump onto another single leg, but he kicks out of it with ease, so I sit into close guard. From here, I literally look to hold his hand, because if his hands are in my hands, then they probably aren't on my hips, allowing me to launch a triangle like you'll see here. Unfortunately, he still has black belt level reaction time, so he dodges the triangle and moves into an over-under pass. He'll walk towards my center line, allowing him to free his leg and pass my guard straight into the technique that I've been working on all night, the north-south choke. To defend the north-south choke, all you have to do is move your head and face into his ribs. A lot easier than it sounds, especially when he uses a small detail of walking his hips forward and then flattening back out to keep your face pointing in the other direction. Now, while I did end up tapping after this, I learned an awesome new detail that I can add to my arsenal to level up my game. And at the end of it all, I couldn't ask for a better session. I would also like to give a quick shout out to the Prieto family for inviting me down here. I met them at a New Breed tournament about 2 years ago, and our families have stayed close since then.
Alright guys, that was our time here at Jiu-Jitsu. Dude, I cannot pronounce that, I don't know why. But it was a really awesome experience. Got to roll with a lot of different people. All the younger kids are like super good. I can tell they have a lot of potential in there, but you know, got some good rolls in, got to work a lot of the things that I've been wanting to for no-gi with a different feel, a different crowd, you know. Anyways, we're gonna head back to the house, get some food, and get to bed. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, Mike. No, I'm just letting you know. This is trash. All vegan is trash. Okay. As an appetizer with some ranch, I give it to it. All right, Mike. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have some real food now.